HarperCollins presents The Girl from Bletchley Park by Kathleen Mcgurl. Read by Jessica Whitaker. Chapter 1. Julia 2019. 4 hours. On waking, Julia checked her sleep monitoring app as always. Not too bad a night. She'd had a lot worse. She groaned slightly as she hauled herself out of bed, leaving Mark beside her still snoring gently. He had another hour before he'd need to get up and head out to work, but Julia had a list of jobs she wanted to get done before the working day began. As she showered, she ran through the list in her head. Put a load of washing on. Before that, put the previous load into the dryer. No, before that, take the load out of the dryer and put it away. Some of it needed ironing. Where was Ryan's football kit? He needed it today. Hopefully it was in the washing load that was in the dryer. Empty the dishwasher, or could Oscar be persuaded to do that? Probably not before school. He had a school trip today, so Julia needed to make sure he had a suitable packed lunch. He was 14, surely old enough to take control of his own lunch-making. But he wouldn't, and she'd worry, so better that she should sort him out. Ryan had football practice after school. Mark would be late home, no doubt, so dinner needed to be ready for 7. Oscar would probably go round to a mate's house after school for a bit. She showered efficiently, toweled herself dry, dressed in black trousers, not jeans, never jeans on a workday, and a cream shirt. Makeup could wait. The washing was sorted while a slice of bread toasted and the coffee maker did its thing. Meanwhile, her mind turned to work. Team meeting at 11 that she needed to prepare a few slides for. Annual appraisal with Tulipa that afternoon. The girl was doing well, a real asset to the company. She had to find out whether Ian had followed up on that new business lead she'd shoved his way a few days ago. Then she needed to check in with Barry. He always worked best if he spent a bit of time talking through his work with her. Then get on with her own project. There was a tricky technical problem she needed to find a way around. Barry might have some ideas. Toast eaten, and a possible solution to her work problem ticking away at the back of her mind, she glanced at her watch. Not quite 7 o'clock. There was time to unload the dishwasher, clean the kitchen sink and hob, and possibly also vacuum the sitting room where Mark had dropped crisp crumbs all around the sofa the previous evening. She donned an apron and got on with the chores, and was halfway through a batch of ironing when a scowling Oscar and still sleepy Ryan stumbled down the stairs and began organising their breakfasts. "Oh, watch what you're doing. I've just cleaned up there." Ryan had slopped milk over the counter as he poured it over his cereal. "Sorry, Mum. Do you know where my football kit is?" the 12-year-old said through a mouthful of cornflakes. "It's just out of the dryer, in the washing basket." "You should do your own washing," Oscar said. "Only way to make sure it's done on time in this house." "Unfair, Oscar," Julia replied. "I do a good job of keeping on top of the washing and you know it. But if you really feel like that, then feel free. Do your own washing. You know how. Program 4 is the best one." "Not got time." Oscar pushed back his chair from the kitchen table, left his cereal bowl by the sink, and headed out to the front door. "Bye then. Dinner at 7. Julia shouted after him as she loaded his bowl into the dishwasher and tucked his chair back under the table. Ryan was eyeing up the drizzling rain that had just begun. "Can I have a lift to school?" "Only if your dad does it," Julia snapped. "I've got to get to work." You mean you have to walk all the way across the kitchen, through the hall and through a door into the office? It's not far, Mum. Takes you about 10 seconds. You can drive me to school, then start work." "I mean, I need to get going with work. My business doesn't run itself, you know." She glanced at her watch. 8:15. Tulipa generally arrived for work at 8:30. Julia liked to be in the office by then. "Morning, all." Mark had come downstairs at last. "Fry me an egg, would you?" he said to Julia, while he poured the last of the coffee she'd made into a mug and sat down, scrolling through news items on his phone. "No time, sorry." Mark pouted.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?